Hi there, it's your girl Coppernosis. I'm smiling so big because I've been trying to record this video and it's not doing what I want. Alright, so welcome back to the Coppernosis channel. I made a video earlier today about names. The name it was part one of this. Part two is called is about the last name Krauss, or the name Krauss. The first one was about Candaces. If you haven't watched the one about the Candaces of Moreau, go back and watch it. Anyway, my name's Candace, that's why. Anyway, so I'm interested in names that are related to me. Turns out the last name Krauss is a name that's related to me in a way. A person that I know, close to me, married a person with the last name Krauss. I became a little bit of an extension to the Krauss family. Alright? This person, Krauss, was kind of a prominent person in Hawaii. He went to Hawaii in the 1899. He was a white gentleman. Brought his father, who was even older. He had his 4 children there. Okay? He had another Fred Krauss, which was one of his kids. So his father was another Fred Krauss, so I decided to look into the Fred Krausses. I do believe in things like the mud flood. I do believe in things like a certain group of people, had a lot of influence on books and culture in different areas upon the culture of America, upon the culture of the world. So I believe that that maybe there was more involving this name. This person I know, I had a building named after him at the university. He has a street named after him. You know why? He's not Hawaiian. They're not Hawaiian, alright? He had an article in the newspaper that he had said some stuff that made me look more into him because I was surprised about what he said. But, people in my family already told me this person was racist. They did. They said when I was a kid, they're like, this guy was a kind of racist guy. Alright? So, nowadays people are racist. Other people in my family get really excited. But their own family members are racist. You know what I mean? It's like, get excited about them first. Anyway, so this guy Krauss, oh my gosh. When I popped Krauss in, I put Frederick Krauss because that was his name. Pop it into the computer. There was 2 different ones that popped up. But both of them actually said folklorist and ethnologist. They weren't the same person. One was in Germany and one was in Croatia. The one that I actually found more information on was a gentleman from Germany. Frederick Solomon Krauss. The other one was Frederick Hermann Krauss. Couldn't find too much except that he had a mental breakdown at some point, and he also was a folklorist and I think ethnologist, but I can't for some reason pull it up anyway. You can look it up. If you can find it, good luck to you. This guy, anyway, this other guy, Frederick Solomon, he had a magazine called Anthropophysia. Turns out he was friends with Freud. And he also was in a book. There's a book called Transgender Psychoanalysis, a Lacanian perspective on sexual difference. Now, since I've tried to do this video so many times, I'm going to try to get to it so that it doesn't cut me off and all this stuff. I don't know why it's doing that. But a lady named Patricia Gherovici wrote Transgender Psychoanalysis, this book. Alright, so in the book, it talks about Krauss, right? And how Krauss is related to Freud. Very early on, Freud detected 3 types of objects that are prototypes for libidinal objects: the oral, the anal, and the genital objects. He was able to substantiate the exploration of the second type of object when he read a catalogue of excremental rights, John Bourke's Scatologic Rights of All Nations, a dissertation upon the employment of excrementitious remedial agents in religion, therapeutics, divination, witchcraft, love philters, etc. in all parts of the globe. Okay, that was the whole title. Starts with scatologic, ends with globe. Freud was invited by the renowned folklorist Frederick Krauss to write the foreword for its 1913 German edition. We have seen that in 1903, Krauss coined the term paraphilia, favored by these people, and it was introduced into the English language in 1913 by urologist William J. Robinson. I just have a feeling that some of the stuff I say is just like going to be, somebody's going to go like, I know something about that, I know something about that, because that's usually what happens. Anyway, Krauss's annual magazine, Anthropophagia, condensed several of Freud's interests: folklore, ethnography, and anthropology. So Krauss is an ethnographer, anthropologist, folklorist. Well, he didn't say anthropologist, but then Freud was the anthropologist, and okay. Anyway, this book was written by a guy named Bourke, John Bourke. All right, this freaking blew my mind about John Bourke. Okay, John Bourke was studying a Native American tribe. All right, the Zuni tribe. He actually studied the Zuni tribe, and then he watched one of their rituals, and then, among other things, he wrote about that, and that was in his book. Okay, but this is what they talked to. Okay, this blows my mind. This Bourke fellow, he was a captain of the 3rd U.S. Cavalry, and he studied the same Native Americans that his troops planned to exterminate. That's straight from this book. I'm just reading it. The same. Okay? Then it goes on. He was an amateur historian and ethnologist whose legacy includes hundreds of pages about life on the frontier after the American Civil War. More lies he made up to promote whatever they're trying to promote to us. Anyway, oh my God, did you hear that? So he was planning on exterminating these people, but he decided to, it says here somewhere later on the next page, it talks about how he attended a covert ceremony. Okay? He attended a covert religious ceremony of the Zuni natives of New Mexico, where he was able to observe during the ecstasy of the ritual dance, the natives drink human urine. Okay, and the video I just tried to make, which I'm saying that I don't think human urine, I don't know if this is going to be like whatever, I don't think human urine's a bad thing. I tell people that I don't have a problem with human urine. Not for witchcraft or anything like that, but human urine is like, people use it, like other people that know about urine, they know that you soak your hair in it, you do this and that, and it's actually, I'm not going to say that I don't drink human urine. I don't, my own anyway, whatever. I don't know, not other people's or not any kind of rights, but I'm not going to say that human urine didn't cure my allergies. I'm not going to say that it did, right? But anyway, and if you know about ascension and about protecting yourself, they're trying to make urine sound like an evil thing, which, it can be. You can use it, and it says witchcraft and all crazy shit. Or not, you know what I mean? And I'm not promoting, don't go drink urine if you don't want to go drink urine, whatever. Do what you want. But I'm just saying, in the thing that he saw, they just happened to not ingest human excrement. But, they're saying that he notes that among the Zunis, the Nihui were an order or a medical sect, and their dances had the objective of strengthening stomachs and the participants so that they would be able to tolerate any food. I don't think he knew what the objective of the dance was. I really don't think he had any idea of the objective of the dance. And he just planned on killing the people afterwards anyway. So, like, if it was so important, I don't know. It's just sickening to me that it just goes like, oh, he was in the captain in the 3rd U.S. Cavalry, and he studied the same Native American troops that his troops planned to exterminate. Fucking unbelievable. Excuse my language. I am so sorry, but unbelievable. Okay? the Native Americans that we are, they're not, oh my gosh. Anyway, so the name Krauss, that's what I found out about the name Krauss, right? All right, okay. So this guy wrote this book. They rewrote the book. They changed the name to, um, in English, filth and customs, uses, beliefs, and customary laws of all nations. Okay? All right? Did I say that part about how the Krauss's magazine, turns out about Krauss's magazine that it was said, under the pretext of anthropological divulgation, the magazine was distributing obscene, pornographic material. And then when they got in trouble for that, and then Freud came in and stepped in, and he wrote an open letter of support for the magazine, because he's a well-known guy. You know, they got to stick together. The bros got to stick together, right? The Krausses, the Bourkes, the Freuds, however you say it, right? And, yeah, and then somebody rewrote the book again, cut it down to 30 chapters and 165 pages from the before it was 552 chapters. Yeah, the new version was published in New York under the Portable Catalog. All right? Changed it into it turned into a, they said it kind of like a, I don't want to say tongue in cheek because that's kind of gross, but anyway, it said it was more of a bathroom, it was like a joke, it turned into like more of a joke book, right? So it's just, anyway, I was reading a thing about, I think it said Ben Franklin, and Ben Franklin talks about the Native Americans and the Americans, and a long time ago when they wanted some of the Native American chiefs to send their kids to go to study with these other people, and then the Native American chiefs thought about it, and then they thought, no, we have sent. They waited always 24 hours to respond because they didn't want to just answer. They didn't want to insult anybody. And they said, we've sent our boys to you before, and they come back and they're not able to do stuff like hunt or fish, or, to us they're useless. So even though we respect you, respecting your own institutions, when we get our men back, they're not capable of doing what we do over here. And so maybe you should send us a few of your men, and then we will help them become men. Makes so much more sense if that's what had happened. But the thing is, these people came along. It's a group of people that came along, and they wrote the books. They worked together. Folklorists, ethnologists, they all just named themselves. None of them been to school. Some of them a year. People given honorary doctorates and this and that. I'm over here paying for a master's